Morning and welcome, Patriot News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. The markets are roaring. Everything is open. Of course, yesterday, MLK Day, National Championship in college. Congratulations to the Buckeyes. We got a lot of Buckeye fans. They're really annoying too, right? You know they're Cowboy fans annoying. Buckeye fan is a Duke fan, right? They're all annoying. But hey, congratulations to them. But the big news, obviously, the Donald Trump, the inauguration, the signing of executive orders, more pardons for everybody. Donald Trump getting into it and gave the blanket. I'll say this, January 6ers. Everybody, it looks like, is going to either get their sentence commuted to, hey, whatever you've done, time served, you're out, or you're getting pardoned if you're somewhere in the process. I hope that maybe that kind of puts the book on all, with all the pardons that Joe Biden gave for his family and everything else. Maybe we can just move on, but that's going to be wishful thinking, but hey, I want to be positive today. A lot of other interesting things, things that we knew, reversing a bunch of Joe Biden's economic orders, leaving the Paris Accord. He's put a hiring freeze on government. I like this one. Now, there are some exceptions, like the military can hire and whatnot. So we'll watch that in the jobs numbers. We'll see if that number in the jobs numbers comes down. Because right now, the government hiring has been a lot, right? 30 to 50,000 a month. So it'll be interesting to see the effect of that one. Now, he kind of said, listen, it's a freeze until we get control of things. So he kind of left it open, and I'm not sure exactly what it means. It sounds good. It sounds good, and I think for all of the MAGA people, they've got to be on cloud nine. I think Trump played to his base and did a really, I think, a good job of it. He did do a lot of executive order stuff for the border. We'll see what that does. So that's kind of a wait and see. It sounds good. We'll see what happens there. I think some people will be a little surprised on that one. And what I mean by that is if it really does go to, hey, no one's coming across that border, that's going to have an effect, whether we like it or don't like it, right? When you have 3 million of them come across every year, you got to pay for them. So, some of them go to work, some of them don't, but, they're in hotels or they're in apartments, right? They've got to be fed, they've got to be sheltered, right? That's a lot of GDP right there. Plus the fact that, there's an amount. I don't know what it is. Is it $1 million? Is it 1.5 million? Is it 2 million? We do need some. I mean, that's the one thing that I don't want people to forget. We do need some of those. Also, the tariffs, kind of like what we thought. But he talked really big on it. But I was saying, hey, I think that's a lot of talk. He's going to leverage. So no immediate tariffs on anybody. However, he is talking about February with Mexico and Canada. He really didn't talk about China. Kind of interesting. I think they're going to maybe do something a little different there. But, Jason, even the Mexico-China stuff, I get the feeling this is like, okay, play ball with me on the border. By the way, and he did follow through with the drug cartels are now terrorist organizations. I want to finish that up. Play ball with me on the border. And then maybe we don't have to do the tariff thing. That's kind of my impression of it, and why he said, hey, I'm going to wait till February 1st. So he's not giving them a lot of time. Hey, show me that you want to cooperate with me. I'll give you 10 days before we do something.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what it actually says in those documents.
Right.
You gotta.
Well, that's what the media is telling us that they say, right? And Trump would, sign them and he'd hold them up and take a picture. And
I watched the 47-minute. I was kind of multitasking. I watched the 47-minute propaganda film that he did while he had all the executive orders on the desk and the guy was reading them off. Some very interesting things said there, and as you watch Trump just sign and sign and sign, obviously having no knowledge as to what he's signing, it's painfully obvious that what was being signed yesterday is not for the citizen. It's just, we'll be digging into this on the other show in days to come. I'm telling you.
Boo! Let us have it. Let us have a small win here. But that's just Jason, right? Hey, for those of you that don't know Jason, listen, this is just, he's always like, hey, whatever they tell us it is, there's always something they don't tell us, and that's what he's always worried about. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. AllAmericanGold.com is the website. Gold and silver is what we do, and we've been doing it for a long, long time, 29 years this year. For us here, I've been doing this show, gosh, this is year 21, 22, something like that. I mean, a really, really long time. For those of you out there that don't get the half-empty cup, maybe you should do this if you get the Patriot Radio News Hour, but you don't get the half-empty cup. Call the station. Tell them, hey, we want the half-empty cup, right? We want more Joe and Jason. So for a lot of people like Colorado, they get both shows. And they're like, oh, they're used to Jason, right? Jason is he doesn't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. There's always, it's all the things that they don't tell you that he worries about. Hey, I know what they said. Hey, this, and whether it's a bill passed by Congress, whether it's an executive order or what have you, what else is in there that you didn't tell us, right? Those are the parts that he always worries about. So for some of you out there that are maybe not versed in Jason speak, that's where he sits on all of this. And he's going to be the guy, listen, we got to have him. He's going to be looking at these things. He's going to try to get all this stuff in depth and then let us know, hey, here's all the things that were also in it that you may need to really pay attention to. But there is definitely, especially when you think about whether it's Wall Street or business, right? They're excited about the Trump administration. One of my favorite guys, Stan Druckenmiller, he was out. And I'm going to share his message with everybody. But when we look at these markets, I'm going to continue to caution everyone. Be smart here. Do you go out and sell all your stocks? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you put all your money into gold and silver or crypto? Absolutely not. I mean, remember the Trump crypto stuff? Man, a lot of people were pretty wealthy for about 5 minutes, and then not so much. But be smart. Be diversified. Keep adding to your gold and your silver. If you have these big IRAs, and you haven't called us yet to set up a gold and silver IRA, what are you doing? It's almost like it's risk-free. And what I mean by that, listen, gold's not going to zero. You're not going to lose half your money overnight. You're not going to have to face those kind of risks because, blah, blah, blah happened tomorrow, and all of a sudden, bad stuff is going on, especially when I share with you what Drunken Miller has to say. But let's look at the market here. Listen, the Dow's up almost 400 points. It's great. S&P's up 30. The NASDAQ, not so much, up 29. The 10-year note, it's at 4.57, which I think, hey, that's way better than 4.8. But, boy, I was really hoping to see more here, right? Listen, the bonds have been on a tear. There's going to be some guy, hey, I'm going to opportunity to lock in some profits and all that stuff. If this is as low as it's going to go, then I'll be disappointed. Now we've still got a few more days. Let's see. But if tariffs end up coming, then things are going to get a lot higher than this. Crude oil's down on the Trump drill thing. We'll see. And I think that's what I mean by that is, listen, if the oil drillers and the oil company, if they can make good money at $76, they'll drill. And it's great that, listen, Trump's going to say, hey, I'll give you even more places to drill. Right? That's great. Unfortunately, what the oil companies are saying is, we really can't. Right? And either it's because, well, where we want to drill, it's already, the pipelines are already full. Really can't add any more right now. Or, well, we can drill there, but the stuff isn't there. Right? It's complicated. We need bigger dollars because we can't just tap into the pipeline and get it to where it needs to go. We may have to add a step or two or, cost more money. But nonetheless, hey, it's better than 80, right? I'll take it. Silver and gold. Gold absolutely ripping your face off right now. Up almost $40 here, just below $27.50 now. Silver up another 24 cents, $30.70. And like I said, keep going here. All of these great things that Donald Trump is doing, all the things that I'm excited. Now, Jason may not be as excited. I'm excited. Right? What I'm excited about. Here's the great part. It's all good for gold. All of it. Right? Tariff, no tariff, still good for gold. Right? Close the border, good for gold. Don't close the border, good for gold. Right? I mean, drill, don't drill, good for gold. And, so don't take my word for it. So Stan Druckenmiller, this guy is an absolute legend. He's been around forever. He's a billionaire, right? I love how the left hates, look at all the billionaires. Like the Democrats don't have billionaires all over them, right? They're just mad. The same billionaires that were all with Biden are now with Trump, right? Bezos, Zuckerberg, right? All those guys, they're all with Trump now. They're all, right? They don't care. But he made an interesting observation yesterday. He said that the CEOs, now he's talking about the CEOs, the big corporations, said they're giddy. That was the word he used, giddy, anticipating Donald Trump's return. And here's what he said. He said, listen, the last administration, the Biden administration, now this is his words, the most anti-business administration in history. And saying that Trump may be the most business friendly administration in history. That sounds really, really good. Now, I think it highlights that, maybe business will do better next time. I've been very critical, especially these big companies. Anything they threw out, the government, they were doing. They didn't have to follow these executive orders. That they didn't really have the power over them. They elected to do it. If they didn't like DEI or LBGQ, if they didn't like working from home and mask mandates, they didn't have to do it. It wasn't a law, but they did it. And now, allegedly today, well, gosh, we didn't really like to do that. It was the Biden administration. And now that Trump said, we don't have to do them anymore. I mean, how many companies have already canceled DEI already, right? Sounds great. I agree. One of the reasons I'm excited. However, he was really quick to point out, he's like, man, the economy's interesting. I like that word, interesting, because it is. We had every day you just don't know. I mean, last year we called it the year of chaos. We are at a low unemployment rate, right? We talked about that. GDP growth, right? Kind of around 3%. That's really high for an economy like ours. Of course, that's inflation helping, right? We understand that. I've been doing this, he said, for 49 years. He says we do a lot of talking to CEOs and companies on the ground. We're believers in animal spirit. In other words, he's saying, man, these CEOs are really fired up. The economy looks strong, at least for the next 6 months. So not a ringing endorsement, but it beats the economy's not strong, right? Let's give it to that. Which is about as far out as one can see with any degree of confidence. So he said, listen, you really can't go beyond 6 months because you just don't know. And he says that in the terms of the market, so he's talking about the stock market and the bond market. And this is why I tell you, please get more diversified. I'm going to tell you it's complicated. Despite what I just said about all of these wonderful things, and this is me, right? I'm with Stan here. Because I'm like, man, look at it. Yes, awesome. Nah. We have earnings and yields to bond ratios that are the most unattractive in 30 years or more. So that takes out, he's saying, listen, more unattractive than the financial crisis? More unattractive to the dot-com bubble? That he said, listen, 30 years or more. Like he just said, 30 years is a good enough example to show you. I will say this. In my business, every change creates change in security prices. And it's true. That's why I'm so excited. I'm so pumped up about gold and silver. Because all the changes that Donald Trump is going to bring, the ones that I know of, are all good. All good for gold and silver. He goes, we're having this radical shift. He said, unfortunately, there is going to be plenty of opportunity. But I'll say this. It's going to continue to be an individual stock by individual stock game. In other words, he once again, kind of what we're seeing, Jason, is, hey, there's going to be some good stuff, but it's going to be limited to a certain number of stocks, and then the rest of it, not so much.
His observations I agree with. The thing I don't agree with, and I guess it depends. He said the last administration was anti-business. It depends. If he's talking small business, I completely agree with him. It was completely pro-big business. All the administrations have been pro-big business. Oil companies were making record profits under the Biden administration, so those companies were seeing bigger profits than under Trump. What we're seeing is everything's going up. Companies are being leveraged. Buyouts are happening. So if he's talking big business, Joe, he's exactly right. All of his observations were right. But as far as anti-business the last 4 years, just look at those billionaires that were sitting there cheering themselves on yesterday. They did well last 4 years.
800-951-0592. Joe and Jason here on this Tuesday. Right now, gold's up almost $34 here, $27.43. Listen, I'm going to give you another number now. Okay, so gold's back here, threatening the all-time highs, $27.62. We close above that, and we're going to have new all-time highs. We're going to get new all-time highs no matter what, period. End of the discussion. The only question is, how high? Right? 3,000, 3,300, 4,000? We'll have to wait and see. But right now, TV gold, you got to remember, so this is a February contract. So we're almost in February already. It's already at $27.60, so get ready. This is going to happen very, very quickly. Yesterday, we ran 47 $20 gold pieces in honor of Donald Trump being the 47th president. They were $2,650. Gold's up over $30. Again today. Here's what Jason and I, we had a long talk about it. We decided we're going to do this because we've got about half of them left. We got 24 of them left because we didn't sell them out yesterday. So I'm going to split it with you. These last 24 20s, today is the last day, will be $26.65. For the last 24 of these $20 gold pieces that we have in honor of Donald Trump starting tomorrow. I don't know what gold's going to do tomorrow, but you're looking at a price like almost $200 higher. So this is a huge, huge opportunity. $20 gold pieces, $26.65. And I'll say this, I've been doing this a long time, as I told everybody, but I've never seen the ability to buy gold this far below spot ever. You're right now, we're talking about what, like $77, $78 below spot. If we use the February contract, we're almost $100 below spot. That's insanity on a $20 gold piece. You can buy all of them, one of them, I don't care, $26.65 at 800-951-0592. I'm just telling you, this is it. This is the last opportunity you're going to get. Unless I get some type of big sell order from a big customer, we're not going to be under spot anymore. That's just what's going to be. Silver up 25 cents here. We know we want to see $31, a break above 31. the TV silver. So if you're watching silver on TV, you're watching Fox or CNBC or whatever it may be, you're like, Joe, what are you talking about? Silver's like $31.50. That is the March contract. It's telling you this is where it's going, right? And what I mean by that is we're going to see higher silver prices as well, much higher. I'm not talking about 5% or 10%. I think 20% is low. That's low. And I'm trying to be conservative here. We're probably going to see somewhere north of 30 in silver. So take advantage. There U.S. rolls of U.S. silver eagles. They're $735. If you're ordering the 20s, even if it's just a roll of dimes, throw some silver in there. Throw some silver in there. It's a great opportunity to be in metals right now, especially with the Trump administration and what they're going to be doing. I fully expect, because one of the executive orders that Donald Trump did sign, he wants to create a new agency in the government. So kind of, we're not hiring anybody, but I want to create this new agency, which solely its job will be to collect tariffs and fees on goods shipped from other countries into America. We are going to get some form of tariff, I believe it. Will it be 25% on Canada and Mexico? I hope not.
That's what he said yesterday.
Yeah. I hope not, but he did say it. I hope that's not the case. I hope Canada and Mexico play ball, and we only get, let's call them targeted tariffs. China. He didn't really talk a lot about them, but I'm going to tell you right now, tariffs are coming for them too. And probably a bunch of other places that we aren't even talking about. It's going to be needed. Why? Why is he going? Why am I so confident he's going to do it? And the answer really is simple. He wants to extend the tax cuts. They're supposed to expire. Done. Remember, he gave the big cut to the corporations and then gave us a temporary one. Because why? Well, because it looked bad, right? Gosh, if I made him, he could have made him permanent when he was there, but they didn't because it'll look bad with the deficit stuff. Well, now he's saying they need to be permanent. Matter of fact, everyone's saying they need to be permanent. Why? Because for a lot of people, Jason, if they got to go into these higher tax brackets, all of a sudden they're going to be losing their house. They're going to be, right, they can't buy the groceries. They can't pay the credit card bill on top of all of these other situations. And Jason, when we know this, they always want to have offsets. And they can be garbage. And what I mean by that, they may say, hey, these tariffs are going to save us $2 trillion over 10 years, right? Doesn't even have to be accurate, but they have to have them. So expect them one way or the other. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. We got about 1820 still left here. 2665. This is the last day. Save like $200 per 20 today at 800-951-0592. Egg prices, they're back. Remember when eggs, they're like $9-10 a dozen. I mean, we're not quite back there yet, but apparently they may be. Syracuse University School of Management. I guess they do a lot of supply chain stuff. Said, get ready for egg prices to jump another 20%. They were down to like $2.50 in December of 2023. They're now well over $4 on average. They're saying, listen, they're going to be over $5 on average, but said that there will be spikes. They'll be short-lived, but I know bird flu got a big plant in Maryland. They got a big plant in Georgia this week. I don't know. But they apparently.
Do you believe that, Joe? Do you believe that?
That's what they're saying.
We can't have inflation right now. We've got to have an excuse. We can't have inflation. We got to have an excuse. From now on, we can't have inflation. We're going to have an excuse for a little while, right?
Well, remember now, Donald Trump also, one of the things he signed. So some of these executive orders, I don't know if they have a lot of teeth. All the agencies need to look into trying to lower the price.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Hopefully they were doing that from the get-go. Maybe they weren't, but they're saying...
Wasn't that what Kamala Harris was saying? Wasn't Kamala Harris saying the same thing?
I don't
Got to control these prices.
Yes, right. The last
sound all the same.
Right, the last quarter. So October, November, December. This is nuts to me. 20 million egg-laying hens died? 20 million?
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
No, these are not. These don't go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, right?
That's what they're telling us, Joe.
That's a totally different chicken. But these are these egg layers.
You're right. Chicken nuggets, McDonald's chicken nuggets. You're right, Joe. I messed up. What's in the white meat?
I guess to be clear.
I just don't believe the news, Joe. There's always an agenda. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I usually don't sabotage Joe because he's here to sell gold and silver.
Yes, all right. I should have led with apparently these were premature kills. Okay, they weren't supposed to be killed yet. They were still highly productive egg layers. 20 million of them. Maybe the depopulation thing that a lot of people keep, worrying about. Maybe it was the chickens that we should have been worried about. Maybe Chick-fil-A, with their cows saying "eat more chicken," has finally taken hold.
We need more illegal chicken immigration to balance this out.
Right. Where are? Listen, we'll know we're in trouble when that's what you see. An illegal alien was apprehended with 30 chickens in his car, right? Then we'll know that we're in big trouble. But
remember, if they cross the border, they don't have to take the coronavirus vaccination. They don't have those regulations down there.
And then to top this off, ready for this? Here's a shocker. How dumb are these people? The CEO of Walgreens. By the way, Walgreens is closing hundreds and hundreds of stores. They just keep closing them. He said, because let's face it, these guys are geniuses. This is why Stan Druckenmiller said, listen, this is a stock-by-stock thing. Because guess what? There aren't that many really smart CEOs. Because I guess they couldn't figure this one out. But he said, us locking up all of our products, let's lock up the toothpaste, right? Are you kidding me? Like, toothpaste is what, a couple, $2-3? No, let's lock it all up. has now really started to hurt our sales, and it's making it more difficult for honest paying customers to get and buy what they want. And I'm just like, really, guys? Because I get it, right? You want to lock up, the $40, $50 items, things of that nature. Okay, maybe I can understand that a little bit. But, Jason, they're locking up stuff. It doesn't even cost $5.
Walmart is a very sophisticated theft deterrent. They have a good observation. They keep really good records. They literally will let the Night Stalkers steal until they get to felony level, and then they fire you because then you have no repercussions for unemployment or any of that stuff. When Walmart's closing down these stores that I would consider, or they would probably consider, at-risk areas, what they're doing is they're seeing the theft levels rise in certain communities, and they're knowing that this is probably not a place to have a profitable store. We'll make the people that are stealing have to go farther to another Walmart, and then we'll beef up the security at that store. And it's just cost cutting, right, Joe? It's just simple business. Walmart would love to be everywhere until it doesn't make sense financially, Joe.
Well, maybe this is what Walgreens is starting to figure out. Hey, you know what? If we've got to lock everything up, it hurts all the sales. So we're just going to get out of all the areas where we really do need to lock everything up. We'll be back. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Final segment here on this Tuesday. Been running these 20s. It is the very end of it, the final day, because, well, we're not going to have them anymore. 26.65. Right? We split the difference with you guys out there. Gold's up. Well, let's see exactly here. I should have been more ready. It's only up $34 today. 26.65. Spot 27.43. You heard right. But and by the way, these are live. I have about a dozen of them sitting here ready to go. Jason has he had a little more, doesn't now. But we have these. These are live. You can order them today, pick them up today, but today is it. You're probably going to be looking at, and this is assuming gold doesn't just go to the new all-time high tomorrow, because it may. I hope not, but it may. You're going to be looking at a $20 gold piece, $200 higher. I mean, come on. You're not buying any ounce of gold anywhere for under $2,800. Yeah, I don't hear you, Jason. I'm not hearing you. Yeah, no. So maybe, I don't know if Jack doesn't have you on or if we're having some more Lucy issues. It is super cold where Jason is. It's like below zero. So the equipment tends to not like any of that stuff out there. Get it put away. And while you're doing it, add some silver to it. U.S. Silver Eagles, $735 today. Throw in a roll of dimes, $122.50. But add it. It is going to be a spectacular opportunity. And again, it's going to be a very, very big year for our precious metals. If you're watching on TV, I know you're like, but Joe, TV says gold's $27.58 right now. That's the February contract. That's 10 days from now. Silver, it's a March contract. Silver $31.50 for March. So you know what's coming. 800-951-0592. And then one other thing, this one's a little worrisome. I'm not super worried yet, but Apple Mark Zuckerberg, he took a shot at Apple saying, hey, they really haven't been that innovative, and the last good thing they did was the iPhone, and that was a long time ago. Jeffries now downgrading Apple to underperform. So this is one of the Mag 7 stocks saying that, underwhelming iPhone sales that are causing issues, they say, for Apple here. So just one of the Mag 7s, just something to keep our eye on. Things can change.
Good.
There you go. You're back now, Jason. Things can change, but just a little interesting that someone like Zuckerberg taking a shot at Apple, saying, hey, Apple's starting to fall behind on the innovation stuff. And then Jeffrey says, hey, the stuff they got isn't selling as good. I don't know. But just throw